Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about teaching you how to create print-on-demand designs that sell. And be sure to stay tuned till the end of the video because I have another 5 bonus niches for you. So in today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about this design style, show you how I did this. This is one of my Amazon listings here. And what this really is sort of the doodle slash collage style. So I've showed you some collage style designs before. This one is particularly done with sort of that doodle frame, and there's a lot of different ways that I've seen people do this, either with the kind of clear frames, which is what I have here, where you just have that doodle frame. I've also seen it where the frames are filled in with some sort of a pattern or stripes. So all sorts of ways you can do this. Super simple. Again, super simple design you can do very quickly, and you can scale out to all sorts of different niches. Obviously, this one is Christmas, but you can do it again for any number of different things. This one I made strictly using Canva, and I'll show you how I did that. But I do want to say that Creative Fabrica has a ton of these doodle frames already made, and some of them filled in with different holiday patterns, whether it's Christmas or fall patterns or Halloween patterns. And so sometimes if you need some ideas, you can just go over to Creative Fabrica and look there. I look at Creative Fabrica a lot just to come up with design ideas because it'll show you what is popular right now. So if you go there and you just look at, the top searches for print on demand, graphics, you will get a good idea of what kinds of styles and designs are selling big right now. And so this is how I know that those checkered ones are doing really well. This is how I know that, there's a lot of these doodle style ones. And so you can sort of get some really good ideas, even if you weren't going to buy anything, just to look and get ideas from it is very helpful. And if you do have the membership, then it is a great resource. I will use a lot of things from Creative Fabrica integrated into my design. So never as a standalone. I do know some people have gotten sued in the past for just downloading things off of Creative Fabrica and then just putting them on shirts as is. Even though it's supposed to be safe for print on demand, I usually wouldn't recommend doing that without making some sort of changes yourself. Now, I do like to use those as part of my design. So I may make a design where I incorporate parts of that or where I change it a little bit, but never as is. Anyways, back to this one. I'm just going to jump over to Canva. This should be a pretty quick video here. So on Canva, we're going to start with custom size, and I'm going to do 4500 by 5400 pixels. That is the standard t-shirt size that I use. It works pretty much for everything. It's the standard size for Amazon merch. It will work on just about all t-shirts. And it's pretty flexible. You can use it on a lot of different things. And it does ensure that when you print on a standard t-shirt size, it will print above 300 DPI. Now, I've had people ask questions about this. I do have a video on my channel that talks about the differences between DPI and pixels and sort of how to calculate it. Simple answer is pixels is how you design. DPI is dots per inch when it's printed. And that's just going to depend on how big the print area is. So if I'm printing something small like a sticker versus if I'm printing something big like a blanket, right? If I design something with a certain number of pixels and I take that exact same design and I put it on a sticker, there are going to be a lot more dots per inch than there would be on the blanket, which is very big, has a lot more inches. So all you really need to know is that 4500 by 5400 pixels is perfectly fine for anything shirt size or smaller. And if we start to get into the bigger items, then I will use bigger sizes. So just to keep it super simple for you, but if you want, you can look up that video. I also cover it, by the way, in my print on demand course, which I sell on my Etsy shop if you're new to print on demand. Anyways, with that said, we're going to go ahead and start here. For this design, I did leave it as a white background because it was a nice Christmassy design and I wanted my frames to be red against a white background. So typically I'll design for the darker shirts unless it's something specific. This is something specific, so I'm going to leave it white. And we're going to start over at the left-hand side with elements. And all you got to do is go ahead and look up a doodle frame. And so doodle frame, go to graphics, and you will find lots of these doodle frames here. And so this is essentially what you're looking at. There you go. Lots of doodle frames in different sizes, in different shapes. There's just a whole bunch of these that you can see. The ones that have the bows, so specifically like this one, are very popular. Those bows are really popular. You can also just get the bow by itself and put the bow on a frame, and so that's easy. They come in different, obviously, shapes, so you can do like, here's a circle one, here's some square ones. About the only thing you really want to think about is the width of the lines. So what I mean by that is that this one right here, obviously the line width is a lot thicker, it's a lot darker than like this one. So if I'm doing a design and I want it to look very cohesive, I probably wouldn't combine this frame with this frame, because what I've got is two totally different thicknesses. So I do want them to be somewhat similar in terms of the thickness. But other than that, there are a whole bunch of different ones that you can choose from. And you might just start by pulling a lot of them up that you think look good, and then you can select from there. So I might just go through and be like, which of these do I think looks kind of cool? Different doodle frames, pull up a whole bunch of them. I know these are the shapes that tend to do good. And I'll just go through, pull up a whole bunch. Here's a circle doodle frame. There's another one. That one has, again, the bow on it. The bows are very popular. I can go to magic recommendations too, pull this up. This is going to have other ones that are similar. So you can see sort of the half bows. Here's a full bow one. That one's really cute. Just more doodle frames. Here's a rounder one that has the bow on it. So right there, that one's kind of cool. More bows. So you're just going to pick, however many of these you think look good. And so there's no right or wrong answer to how many you use, by the way. I've seen it done where there's a whole bunch. I've seen it done where they only have 3 going across the top. And so again, it's just going to depend on your design. Once I've pulled up a lot of these that I think all kind of look good, I'll just drag them off of my page. Let's see, do I have enough? I want to make sure I have a good amount that I can choose from. Yeah, let's just say that this is enough, because I could keep going forever. I'm going to drag them all off of my page, and they're all going to be saved under my recently used. So that makes it a little bit easier. So now if I close this, I got my recently used here. I put see all. They're all going to be in one spot. So I know that these are all ones that I thought looked good. And so now I'm going to pick out ones that I like. I like this red one for the middle. Okay, that one's kind of cool. Again, I'm looking for ones that kind of might go together. This one's kind of cool. And I'm just going to play with some of the locations of these. I mean, I do like ones with the bows. So those all have bows. If I find one that I like that doesn't have the bow, no worries, because I might just add a bow to it. I've got a little bow here, and that's all that is there. So I can always just add a bow to it. Maybe one more, or maybe something totally different. It just depends what I want. I mean, I could do a circle one. I already did an oval. I mean, if I wanted a circle like that, and I wanted to add the bow like to the circle, I'd have to shrink that down quite a bit here. I could put the bow on the circle like that. So just different ways that you could go about doing this. So I'm trying to find some combination that I think looks good sort of together. And at this point, you're just sort of playing with the overall, layout. And again, you can make them random. You can make them a little bit more uniformed. You can make it so it's a little bit more like right across the top, like that. I've seen it done where there's just 3 designs across the top. So it would look something a little bit closer probably to this I've seen. And I've seen it where it's the same one across the top. Obviously, I've seen them where they're solid and more filled in. These ones are obviously just the frames. But you guys can figure out sort of how you want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and just do what I showed you guys in my example real quick. Okay, so I went ahead and just went with these. So these are the ones I went with. I've got them kind of a little bit random on the page. Right now they're all different colors. So what I was going to do is go ahead and select just a shade of red. This one's already red, so I suppose I could just go with that and make them all sort of that nice red color here. So just one at a time, make them all red. And that works just fine. If you find one and it doesn't let you change the color, no worries, by the way. If you have one, it won't let you change the color, let's just say. If you were to go to edit and you were to go down and use the duotone effects, you can pick any one of the duotones, let's say, and just change both colors to that same red. So I could just, as long as I know what red it is, or I want to use the eyedrop feature there, I can just go ahead and change both colors to that red, and I would be able to get that red then. And so, oops, theoretically, I could do something like that to change anything I want to that red. But this one does let me change the color, so again, I can just use the same red. But there you go, just so you know, you can always find a way around. If you get stuck on something, there's always different ways. So next, you can go ahead and put, again, some designs in here. Now, I've showed you designs with the Doodle like drawings. You can also combine sort of the Doodle frame with just like solid graphics or watercolor style graphics. So all sorts of different things you can do. And if you need to brainstorm, again, I can just go up to Elements and I can just sort of search Christmas, just do a really broad search. And if I just do Christmas and start looking through graphics, I start to get ideas. What can I put in here? What fits? What style looks good? And I can kind of go from there. And so you sort of start brainstorming. So like, oh, look, here's a tree. The tree looks good. Maybe I want to put the tree here, for example. So like, boom, there's a tree. And then look, it pulled up magic recommendations. So then I hit see all, and look, there's a bunch more things that look good. Like here's the Santa hat. Oh, that one's pretty. I can take that one. And maybe I want to put the Santa hat down here. I'm looking for things that sort of fit the frame okay, right? So that one looks cool. Oh, look, here's a present. And these are all sort of the same style. So when I do the magic recommendations and I get sort of that same style for everything, that works out really well. I can keep going. Look, there's lots of fun, pretty ones. Ooh, I liked that sort of mistletoe look, and I think, like, there you go. That looks kind of cool. Anything else I see that I like, I can do an ornament in one, or ooh, a snowman. I think I maybe put the snowman in one of these. Doesn't matter which one. There's a snowman. That one's kind of cute. He's a little fatter. Maybe I want to put him here because that one's a little tall and narrow. So I'm just sort of looking for different things. Here's some candy canes that are pretty. So these are slightly different than the ones that I used in the example, but you can see how you just start sort of adding things that look good, and you can play around like that. And so really easy to just sort of start playing, especially when we get a bunch of things that are all sort of grouped together. And so this is just me playing around different ideas. There's a nutcracker. That might have been a cool one. Here's a gingerbread man. There's some different, obviously, mistletoe that you could use, different trees that you could use. If you don't like this style, no worries. I can go back and just kind of keep scrolling, get different ideas. There's bows if I wanted to put like more of a bow in there. I mean, you can see, you can just sort of keep going and come up with all sorts of different ideas of things that you think might look good. And again, right here, I kind of went with, these are all sort of more of a water style or drawing sort of style, but I could have just as easily gone with any other style. I could also go with Christmas Doodle. Oops. Christmas Doodle. And so you can scroll down. There's some more Christmas doodles if I wanted to go with, let's do this, duplicate page. Let's say I wanted to get rid of this. I like my frames, but maybe I'm going to stick with the doodles. And that's, again, easy enough. I can take any of these doodles here. Like that one looks kind of cool. I could put it here and I could make these red, right? So you can see how you can just sort of start playing. Of course, lots of fun ways that you can play, lots of little doodles that you could throw in to different ones. Of course, I'm still going to say that you don't want ones that have super thick lines and ones that have super thin lines. I want them all to kind of look like they go together. So again, I still want those doodles to kind of mesh and be cohesive. But you can certainly see how you can start just being really creative and playing with these, and you can come up with a ton of different designs that you can do this way, just brainstorming lots of fun things. And so there's just like no end to how creative you can be with this. Anyways, not to take forever, but if I was going to do this, I could go ahead and again, I could change those colors to the red and make them all red, or I could make the doodles maybe a green color so that the frames were white and the doodles were, let's say, green. So maybe I did something like that. And so all sorts, like I said, fun ways that you can do this. And I actually kind of like that green with the red. I think that that actually does look pretty cool. And then back up to this one here, adding some text is another fun thing that you can do. I do like to add some of the text. Now, sometimes you can do text that's already here. So like this one here says, Merry Christmas. I could take that text and just put it here, and I could change that again to the red color. I could make it all that same red color so that it all just sort of goes. There you go. So now it's just all that red color, and there I could put Merry Christmas right there, or I could have taken it and put it down here. And so you can do that, or you can of course always write in your own text too. So in mine, I just sort of wrote in my own text by hitting T on my keyboard, pulled up a text box. I put ho, 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 for example. I put that right here, and then you just pick a font. Again, you want a font that's going to be a little bit typically thinner, more scripty, because I do want it to go with the frames. I looked for a long time. There's tons and tons of fonts that you can pick. So, you know, there's no one right font. I went with one called Eiffel Story, because it was a nice thin one. It was a little bit scripty. So you can see if I do that and I make it a little bit smaller here. And then of course I make it that nice red color. Boom. Ho, ho, ho. And so there is a fun design style. It's got the doodle frames and it's just really cool. And you can make so many different styles like this. Take your time, really look through everything, because you can be amazed at just how many fun different things that there are to try. Remember, this should be fun. I enjoy creating these. I mean, obviously you want to sell them. I mean, I'm assuming that you're all here because you have a print-on-demand shop and you're looking for things you can sell, and that is great too, but you also want to enjoy designing and have fun. So, I mean, if it's not fun for you, then you're missing out. If you have questions about this, drop it in the comment section below. I try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. If you have video requests, you can throw those in the comment section below too. I'll see if I can get you added to my list. Again, if you're brand new to print on demand, I do have a print on demand beginner's guide that I sell on my Etsy shop. It's like $20 on sale. I want to make sure that anybody who wants it can afford it. It has 4 exclusive videos on how to set up an Etsy shop. It also has a ton of clickable links to pretty much all sorts of resources that you would need for print on demand. If you're more of a book person, I do have it in a paperback book form. It's like a 117-page book that I sell on Amazon. The book's great, but the links are written out. You would have to type them all out because obviously you can't click on a link in a book. So it just depends how old school you want to be with that. But I have links to both of those in the description under this video if it's something that you're interested in. Now, because you guys were so patient and you did wait until the end of the video, I do again have another 5 bonus niches for you. So without any more waiting, these are your 5 bonus niches. And again, I've gone ahead and just taken from the top selling niches on Amazon right now. So these are t-shirt designs that are selling really well right now. So niche number 1, I'm 10 in dog years. And that's funny, you can make it anything you want, but you get the idea of that one. Number 2, easily distracted by old pickup trucks. And again, this is another scalable one. You can be easily distracted by just about anything. Number 3, I'm retired, you're not. Have fun at work tomorrow. Retirement shirts are always very popular. That one doesn't have any particular year on it, so it can sell pretty much year after year after year. Other ones that say retired 2026, obviously you have to put up a new one every year. By the way, as we're starting to, approach the end of the year, now would be a great time to start putting up retired 2026 designs. Just an idea for you. Number 4, this one was kind of funky. So I do not think, therefore I do not am. It's just a random funny one, and I saw it up in, towards the top of the ones that are selling right now, so I thought I'd add it there. So just another funny one. And then number 5, treat dealer, and this is for like dog treats, and so you could put like pictures of bones or paw prints or whatever. You can make it text only, however you want to do it, but just another fun one. Remember, people love their pets, so pets are another great niche that you guys can work on. Anyways, hope you guys are doing really well with your sales. Hope you're continuing to learn new skills, grow your portfolio, and I do hope to see you guys again. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.